Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the official channel on YouTube for CasinoIncomeAcademy.com. So a couple of quick announcements. I didn't do a lot of videos over the last week or so. We are working on some major stuff, and there's just not enough hours of the day. Kind of have a quote-unquote secret project that we've been working on for over 6 months that involves a lot of coding and technology. We are going to be one of the first casino-centric academies or websites to have something that we've been working on, and it's really exciting, but it's taking a lot of work, a big tech team. On top of that, we have a major Baccarat course coming out at the end of October, if I can get it all done by then. And that's testing out incredible. And just a lot of other testing, lots of other strategies. You know, we're not like the former dealer channel, where they just throw things up on a heartbeat, that somebody sent in or whatever without any testing or anything else. We do a lot of testing, a lot of evaluation, and the majority of the stuff that we show here has to do with probabilities and odds. There's some kind of a math concept behind it, whether it's in terms of the bet selection or the money management, obviously. So there's a lot of work that goes on. It doesn't mean that every strategy we show can't lose. It doesn't mean that anything is guaranteed to win every single time you play it. The only thing you can do in life, whether it's in business or in the casino or trading or anything else, is to give yourself the best chance of long-term success based on a real solid foundation and real solid recovery. And that's all we can do, and that's all anybody can really do. And that's what we try to do to help you and get you in the right mindset. So last but not least, we had announced last week that we're giving away a Las Vegas hotel stay complimentary. We're basically doing a giveaway or a contest, and we're going to announce the winners of that on around October 15th. And there's no purchase necessary or anything like that. You simply have to be in our Casino Confidential newsletter as a subscriber. So go to Casino Income Academy. You can either sign up right here, enroll for free. You can go to the newsletter area right here and sign up for free. And I think we're going to give away 2 of these. And there's a lot of different hotels you can pick in Vegas. The only thing you'll have to pay for is the taxes. They do not allow us to give that away. So the taxes basically are the only thing you're going to have to pay for that situation. We're also going to give away other prizes for a few more prizes that have to do with Casino Income Academy products and other things like that. So make sure you're over here. We don't send out emails every 5 seconds unless we have something legitimate to tell you guys or give you, or, with the newsletter, you're not going to get bombarded by spam. I actually signed up for some guy's newsletter about a month ago. I bought a book, this interesting book. The book was really good. It was very unique, and it automatically put me into the guy's newsletter. I'm telling you, this dude sends out an email every 5 seconds. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So believe me, I don't have the time for that. So it ain't happening here. If we send you something, it's because we put together some solid information or goodies or giveaways or whatever it is once in a couple of times a month, maybe at the most. So go ahead and register so you can possibly get that hotel stay and some of the other stuff. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention is this. There is a member of the craps community, I guess, and I like to support people that are doing really cool things. And this guy wrote a book. I bought the book. You can get it on Amazon. It's out now. And it's a craps book. It's not real big, so it's not like anything that's going to take you a very long time to read. And this is, let me see if I can get this. This is the book. All right, The Dead Man's Hedge. All right. Now, the author of the book, if you're going to go to Amazon, is Kevin Bonnet, B-O-N-N-E-T, B-O-N-N-E-T. Very, very worth the read. This guy thinks a lot like I do. And he tries to find very interesting, he has an interesting way of approaching craps. We have touched on this concept multiple times, and I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do on this video. I'm going to give you a little bit of a thought process. But this book is very well worth buying. It's not an expensive book. And he comes at some of the concepts I'm going to show you, but he comes at it from a very different perspective. So, you know what we try to do. Everything is based on trying to find the recipe to be able to eke out profits and paychecks, or trying to find the recipe to be able to eke out better comps and increase our tiers to get free cruises and free hotel stays and things like that. Well, Kevin's concept in here, which is a little different than ours in terms of the objectives that he goes after and he reviews, are that how long you can stay at the table. So it's pretty fascinating. A lot of this book talks about the concepts that he's using, the hedges and things like that, that allow him to stay longer on the table, to stay for 10 hours or more playing without as much of a risk. And you may ask, well, why would he be interested in staying at the table longer? It's not really the philosophy that I teach, but I think it's fascinating. Because if you really think about it, yes, you can do what we normally preach, which is get your money and run. But it's fascinating to see this other way of looking at things, which basically would assist you if you're really looking to build your comps or your cruise tier or your player card tiers to move up. It would be great to be able to play for longer time. So the concepts, the strategies, and the money management, things like that, you can read. He does massive computer testing. So this guy is like us. He tests and tests. He's not interested in showing you a 15-minute video on something that makes $1 million in the next 15 minutes. He's not that guy, which you know we don't believe in that either. He used Dice Data, okay, who has a YouTube channel, fantastic, Dice Data, to do hundreds of thousands of rolls to test out multiple variations of the strategies and the hedges that he's showing in here. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in reading somebody's story, their testing, their concepts, how they came at it, and exactly what those tests entail, I would go ahead and buy this book. So that's my plug for the day. Plug. Okay, here we go. Speaking of plugs, what we're going to do on this video is to simply show a little bit of I'm going to give you a variety of concepts. Some of the things you're going to learn in the book, his way of doing it, and I'm going to go over some of the things that I've shown on multiple videos in the past for people that are new and are interested in finding ways that are simplistic to play craps. Now, many of these basic concepts we go over big time in AI Bubble Craps Blueprint, the course that we have up for sale on the website, AI Bubble Craps Blueprint. And we also have many videos on this channel and privately that review different variations of what I'm going to show you. So some of the ways that he talks about in the book and that we've shown you are based on the dark side. So let's talk about the dark side again for people that are very new. So what we call light side betting is basically bets that are placed on these numbers or on the pass line or on the come line. These are bets that indicate that that number needs to be rolled for you to make money. And if the 7 comes, you're going to lose that money in most cases. So if we're putting, let's say we're going to do a $12 6 and 8. So we'll do a couple of just examples for people that are new and are scared of craps, which there seems to be a lot of people for some reason that this game scares the hell out of them. And there's nothing to be scared about. So I'm using real dice today, guys. I'm rolling physical dice and I'm going to enter them. So you can see the point is off. There's no point. So when the point is off, if a 7 came now, we would lose these 2 bets if we're working them on the come out. If you have money on this pass line, and we'll just put money out there. If you have money on the pass line like that, if the 7 or 11 comes out now on the first roll, you would win here. But if you were active on these, if these were working and the 7 came out, you would lose them. So let me show you what that means. These are light side bets. I picked the 6 and 8, but you can bet on any of these numbers. All right, so the first number rolled is an 8. So we're going to win because we're working here on this 8 instead of waiting for the point to be established.
Hard 8.
So you see that this $12 8, the way that the payout works from the 6s and the 8s with 12 on there is that you made 14. Okay? Now these stay out here unless you want to pull them down. They're not contract bets. We can take these down at any time. This pass line bet is a contract bet. So for this light side bet to pay off, we would have to hit the 8 again. And then that means that the shooter made his point number, which is the 8. So let's just play this out real quick and then we'll move on. All right, so that is a 7 out. So on a 7 out, we're going to lose all 3 of these. It's a 4-3, which is the casino's number.
7 out.
All right, and you lost all 3, right? So basically, light side betting is betting that the numbers are going to show up, right? For the most part. I'm giving you a general idea. Most people in the casino they never read, they don't understand the game properly. Their uncle or their friend taught them how to bet. And the only thing they know how to do is use a pass line bet, maybe put odds behind it, and then pick up a whole bunch of numbers. That's all that you see most people do. They don't really understand the game of craps completely. They don't understand the nuances, the math behind it, the probabilities. And what makes this game so amazing is that there are so many various bets that can be combined when you understand the payouts and the odds. And that's how we make this game into more of giving yourself the best chance of making it into some type of a paycheck generator, even though nobody can guarantee wins ever, right? So that's an example of a light side bet. Now, for a dark side bets, there's multiple different ways to do a dark side bet. In AI Bubble Crab's blueprint and many videos we've shown here on YouTube, as well as one of the most amazing strategies, which is a private strategy that we only teach in our private coaching sessions, as well as strategies that are part of Casino Diversification Toolbox course. Those use what we call lay bets. So let me show you what a lay bet looks like. A lay bet is the opposite of these place bets. So you saw us place the 6 and 8 where we get paid when the 6 or the 8 shows up. A lay bet is pretty much the opposite for the most part. We get paid when the 7 shows up prior to that number. It is not an even money bet. If you want to know how lay bets are paid out, you can go to Parlay Nation on the internet. Just put in Parlay Nation and go to the calculators. And then you can put in the amounts and you'll see what a lay bet pays. So if you think about it like this, okay? If you look at the middle here, the 7 is the number that comes up more than any other number with 2 dice. And now when you look at the numbers, the box numbers here, what you're going to find out is that the 6 and the 8 come up the second amount of times, the biggest amount of times. the 5 and the 9 next, and the 4 and the 10. So if we're going to lay the bet, and this is a dark side bet where we want a 7 to show up, these numbers are going to pay us the least. The most, pay us the most, because the chances of the 6 and 8 being rolled prior to the 7 are the greatest here. So the casino is going to pay us more money for taking that risk. A little less on the 5 and 9 and a lot less on the 4 and the 10. So if you lay the 4 and the 10, the odds are with you because there's only a few ways to make a 4 and there's only a few ways to make a 10. So the odds of the 7 versus just one of those numbers, the 4 and the 10, it has a great, the odds are with the 7. So they're not going to pay you as much for laying against the 4 and the 10. They're going to pay you a little bit more on the 5 and 9 and less on the 6 and 8, because your chances of losing because of a 6 and 8 being thrown are greater, are higher, I should say, against the 7 versus the outside numbers. So why don't I just show you what I'm talking about? To start with, we're going to lay the 6 and the 8. So you're going to do this. And when you lay these numbers, they're going to charge you a VIG. That's why there's $1 here. They charge you a price for doing the lay bet and being on the casino side or the dark side. So now we just laid against the 6 $30. Okay, $30. Now you can lay for any amount of money, but we're laying it for $30. What we're hoping is that the 7 comes before the 6. So here we go. That's a 12. That doesn't do anything. That's an 8, a 448. So we'll put it in so that it registers that that's where the point is. So the point number moves to the 8. We don't really care about the point number since it's not the number we laid against. The only thing we care about when we lay a number is that number versus the 7. Okay? All right, that's a 649, which doesn't do anything. So we're not going to put it in because it's not the point or the 7 or the 6. 628. We'll register that one.
Winner 8.
And that's basically the point number got hit. Nothing happened to us. The puck is off, and this is the come out roll. 6-5 is an 11. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't make the puck move or affect our lay bet. Okay, there it is. There's the 5-2. So the 5-2 means that the 7 came before
7
the 6. And we win $24. So our $30 bet pays $24 on the 6 and 8. Now let's do the same thing on either the 5 or the 9. And we'll just lay, we'll lay the same $30. Okay? So let's see what the lay bet is going to pay us if we win, of course. If it rolls a 5, we're going to lose our 30. Okay, that's a 6. It's a 5-1. So the puck is going to move to the 6. It doesn't affect us.
6 easy.
Okay. So we're looking for a 7 out when we're on the lay bets. That is an 8. That doesn't do anything. That's a 9. That doesn't affect us or the point. That's another 9. We just don't want a 5. That's another 9. We're looking for the 7. That's another 9. Wow, 9s are hot. Okay, that's a 6-5 yo. That's a 6-5 yo. That's another 9. This is a good roll if you're on the light side bets, but we don't really care. We're just looking for the 7 out. 6-5 yo again. Wow. Okay, that's a 3-1-4. And there's a 4-1-5. So we're going to lose this lay bet because the 5 came before the 7. Okay? So this is what happens.
Fever 5.
Okay. So we lost. That's how a lay bet loses. Okay. All right. So I've shown you one dark side component or element, which is the lay bet. Now I'm going to show you another dark side component, which I'll show you two of them. And these are two that he uses in the book. We use one of these far more than the other because I find that it's a better way to work it. So let's just let this 6. Actually, I can show you this. So I'm going to show you one of the elements now. So this is the DC bet area, right? Don't come. The reason it's called the don't come bet is we're going to put a bet in here like this. And you can only bet in this area when the puck is already out. So you cannot make this bet if it's the come out roll. Okay? So just understand that you have to wait till the puck is out. So now what this is another dark side bet. Instead of us picking the number that we're going to lay against, we're going to let the next dice roll determine where this goes behind. Now, there's a plus and a minus. The plus to letting the dice roll determine where this goes behind is that this, no matter which number it's behind, it's going to pay even. As opposed to those lay bets that I showed you, it's based on odds what they pay. You can be on the best possible numbers where you're in the driver's seat, which is the 4 and the 10. And by the way, with those lay bets, the 4 and the 10 only pays half of your bet. But if this travels to the 4 and the 10, if it happens to roll a 4 or 10 and it travels there, you're going to get even money, which is a phenomenal bet to be on the 4 and the 10. Okay? So this is even money no matter where it goes behind. Okay? Now, what you're giving up is that if the 7 shows up now, or the 11, you're going to lose this bet. Whereas when you make the lay bet, the 7, if it shows up instantly, you win. And the 11, you don't lose. So there's a give and a take here. They're paying you more because of the even money. The other benefit of the DC bet, and it's a massive one if you understand this, if you were to play the other DC bet, which is the don't pass, you have to play this on the come out roll. And if you play this on the come out roll, the 7 or the 11 is an instant loss, just like it is here. So you say, so what's the difference? Here's the difference. I can't lose multiple bets here in a row. Because if the 7 came out now, if the 7 came out now, I'm going to lose this bet. But the puck comes off. I can't make an instant DC bet after that. Because the puck has to already be on. So I can't lose to the back-to-back 7, 7, 11, 7, whatever in the DC. It's a forced patience situation. Whereas if I'm only playing the dark side from the don't pass, I can lose 7, 7, 11. I can't lose 7, 7, 11 here. And I can, but not on exact consecutive rolls. Because if the 7 happens, this puck is off. I can't make a bet yet. So here you go. Let's look at how the DC bet works. All right, so there it is. I lose this bet. So watch this.
7 out.
I lost my DC bet. The puck, the point lost also, the shooter. So that the puck is off. I can't make another DC bet. So if the 7 or the 11 comes out now, I'm not on it to lose. Here we go. Okay, there it is again. Perfect example. It's a 5-2. So that is a 7. So if you were playing on the don't pass side, dark side here, you would have lost 2 in a row. Okay? You're not losing 2 in a row here Because I can't make the bet. I still can't make the bet because the point isn't established. Okay, now the point is established. It's a 5 and a 4.
Nina.
Okay, now I can re-put out my DC bet like that. Okay, and now, oh, by the way, I didn't even tell you this. So there is an instant win factor here too. It's 2 or 3. If the 2 or the 3 comes out here, the same thing for the don't pass. The 2 or the 3 is an instant even money win. If it's these numbers, the puck moves behind it. If it's a 7 or an 11, we lose. The 12 is a push, the boxcars. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the situation where it's a 2-1-3. It's an instant win. It doesn't travel. They pay me right away.
3 craps.
Okay, so let's do it again. I just got paid 25, and we still haven't had our DC bet move. Whoop, off the table. Hold on. Okay, another one where the DC bet doesn't move. It's a 6-5. We're going to lose again. So you're getting to see everything here. Now, because it was an 11 and not a 7, the puck is still on, so I can make another bet. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing to move finally. Okay, finally, it's a 3-2-5. So the DC bet is now going to travel to the 5. So now it's the same thing as the lay bet in terms of how I win or lose. We need the 7 to show up prior to the 5, and we're going to win even money, the 25. So let's just play it out. 5-3-8, that doesn't do anything. 2-2-4, that doesn't do anything. 5-1-6, the only thing that matters is the 7 or the 5. That's a 6-4-10, that doesn't do anything either. 3-1-4. Boxcars, 6-6. 4-2-6. This is a pretty good roll for the light side. Where's that 7? 3-1-4. 6-4-10. 6-3-9. That 7's got to be lurking at some point here. 3-2-5. We got knocked off. So this is, once again, this is how we're going to lose the DC bet. Because the 3 and the 2 showed up. Okay. So that's how you lose the DC bet. If the 7 came, we would win that bet. All right? We would be winning that bet. All right. So does everybody understand the DC bet is super powerful? We use the DC bet in a lot of variations. In the book that I showed you at the beginning of the video here, he uses the DC bet as well. All right. So now, to finish up this video and kind of give you a flavor for a lot of the other stuff that we teach in the courses, and he's showing in his books in different ways and varieties, I'm going to show you what I like best. Not the exact system, but the concept. Okay, there's many ways to play the concept that I'm going to show you. And this is how we make our money in many of the systems we play. Okay? Variations of what I'm going to show you now. Right? So now, what I call this is a hybrid system. And the reason I'm going to show you it this way, this is basically what we do. Now, I'm going to use bigger money because it's easier to do the math. We're going to make a DC bet. Now, this is because I'm already starting and the puck is on. So just understand the basic concept here. That's all I'm trying to show you. I'm not showing you the exact system because there's many ways we do this. So you know this is a Darkside bet. We want this to travel. Okay? And this time, instead of just having it travel and play it out, we're going to use this not just as a hedge, but as a way to make money as well. We're not going to have this travel, let's say, to the 5 and wait for the 5 or the 7 to show up to determine whether we make money, right? And I'm going to show you a very basic way of looking at this. So I'm going to use, I guess I'll use the $10 level. So I'm going to do a $10 buy bet on the 4, $10 place bet on the 5, right? And then I'm going to do 10 on the 9 and 10 on the buy bet on the 10, right? Now, this is not the only way to play. I'll show you a few variations. I just want you to get the concept. Now, we have how much money at risk here? We basically have $20. I'm using the outside numbers this time instead of the inside numbers because they pay more. But understand, we'll get to that in a minute. So we have 20, we have $40 at risk here. We have $100 at risk here. If the 7 came now, we would lose $140 in this current setup. What would we want to happen in this setup? We would want this to either instantly get a 2 or a 3, which gives us $100. The likelihood of that happening is not great because there's only a few ways to make a 2 and a 3. But what we do want to happen is for this to travel to one of the numbers, preferably one of the numbers that we already have a bet on, because that instantly gives us a profit or a cash or a win on that number. So let's give it a shot with this basic way of looking at it and see what happens. Okay, that's a 6-6 boxcars. That's a break even. Nothing happens with the DC bet on the 12. Okay, perfect. It's a 3-2-5. So that means this DC bet
5 fever
is going to travel to the 5. But these bets were live. They were active. So we also got paid $14 for our $10 bet. So we just made our first profit of 14. Now, what you may ask me is, well, wait a minute. Now the DC bet traveled to the 5, but you still have money on the 5. You can do that. What does that mean? It simply means that if we were to lose and the 5 came again, we would win a little bit of the money back here. So we wouldn't lose. We'd win 14, but we'd lose 100. So what are we looking to accomplish when we do a hybrid strategy in this basic form? Is we're looking for these numbers to hit multiple times, as many times as we can get. And then when the 7 finally comes, which we know is coming, we're going to make the money, the $100 here anyway. Now, in the current situation, we have $40 at risk on the light side. If the 7 came now, we'd lose 40. But we'd also get paid for the DC bet here, 100. So we would make $60 on that roll, approximately, right? Almost exact. Right? You understand? So that book is called The Dead Man's Hedge. There are many ways to hedge in craps. There's many ways to hedge and do all kinds of interesting things. I'm showing you one version right now. So let's play this out and I'll do one more. All right, that's a 6-5-11. That doesn't affect anything. 4-3-7. So here you go. We are going to lose the $40, but we're going to win the 100. Remember, on this shooter, we already made another $14 initially. So watch this. 4-3-7.
7 out.
We lost the 40, and we made 100, and there's your $60. So the power of the combination betting is phenomenal. Now, There's always a negative. There's always a positive. I don't want anybody to watch this video and they've never seen anything like this and say, oh my God, I can't lose. Well, you can lose. Because what happens when the 7 shows up when you're still in the DC area and you have those bets out? Right? So there are variations and things that you can do. So let's do this. Let's show you another concept. All right? Another way of looking at things. Let's get a number. All right, that's an 8. So the point is going to move to the 8.
8 easy.
All right. That opens up the ability for us to do the DC bets. Right? So you can try different things. We have many different variations of what I just showed you. You can limit the amount of bets, the place bets that you make. Right? That's one way of limiting it. Right? So you can lower what this hedge is so that you're not really making money on the 7 out. It's just a hedge. You can do things like that. Like what if you had $30 out here and you only had 30 in the DC bet? So now you're risking 60. But when this moves, it's not going to give you any money. It's going to be a hedge only. Right? If that 30 moves out here, and you had $30 out here, it's basically a straight hedge at that point. Against the 7. You can still lose the DC bet, and you're going to lose that $30. You're not going to make the 30 on the other side unless those numbers hit. So that's one way of lessening the amount of money. But there's multiple other concepts that we teach in our courses. So let me do this. I'm going to do something that I call a bankroll builder style. And Waylon uses that term in a little bit of a different way. But when I say bankroll builder style, what I'm saying is that we're looking for 1 or 2 hits, and then we're gonna lessen the risk factor. And you say, well, what do you mean lessen the risk factor? So let me show you something like that. Again, I'll use the 100 since it'll be easier to do the math. Let's do this. This time we're going to play it tighter. We're going to use the numbers that come up more often, which is the 6 and the 8. We don't get paid as much, but there's a better chance of hitting. And if we're going to do this in a tighter, more conservative fashion, we want to make our money and then capture it as quickly as possible. So now this is another type of variation. I'm going to use the 2 that make the most, not make the most money. They make the least money, but they come up more often. You know what I should do? I should go to I'm going to go to 36. I'm going to go to $30 on this. Let's just go to $30. You can make these anything you want. You can make these 36 each, 24 each. You know what we'll do? We'll go to 36. Okay. So we're risking what? $72 now here and $100 here. And again, don't get caught up in the dollars. You can do this at Bubble Craps and lower all these amounts. It's the concept I'm trying to show you. Don't focus on the dollar amounts. So now we have $172 at risk here. All right? But we don't have it spread out as much. We have it just on the 6 and 8. Right? And that's not the point. The point is, watch what I do if I can get this DC to move. Okay, that is a 6-2-8. All right, so watch this. That's a perfect example. 6, 2, 8.
Winner 8.
Okay, these should be on. Okay, so it moved to the 8, but we automatically got paid on the 8. So we got a 1 hit, right? We made $42 in that one roll. So now, this is some of the options. You know that once this moves, these two bets are covered or hedged. Does that make sense? $72 here, $100 here. So if the 7 comes, you're hedged. However, if the 8 rolls before the 7, you are going to lose this $100. So now let's introduce a couple of different ways of looking at things. We can play this out. We already made 42. We have the $100 at risk if the 8 comes, right? We have the $72 if the 7 comes at risk. But this is not at risk, because if the 7 comes, we're going to make 100 here. So the biggest risk you have really is the 8. Does that make sense? We're not worried about the 7 anymore once this moves with this type of structure where our DC bet is covering the money we have on the light side. But we are worried about this 100. So let's see how it plays out. That was at 516. So we're going to make money on this 6. So now we've hit
6 easy.
Twice. We made another $42. So we've made $84 already on this roll. Now you can play this out at this point, because the worst case scenario has nothing to do with the 7 anymore, which is the biggest problem, right? In craps. Because this is covering it. You're going to get paid 100 here. Who cares about this? Right? And if the 8 is rolled, you're going to lose this 100, but you're going to make 42. Because of the 8 here. So you're not going to really lose the full 100. Now, let's play it out. Now, well, let me tell you one thing now. Let me tell you one thing. One of the options you now have, and always have, with these type of strategies, is to pull these off, right? These are not contract bets. So you made $84, right? You can literally pull this down if you want. Now, think about it for a minute, though. Why would you do that? Is there a valid reason? Sometimes there is. Because this is covering these two. So there really isn't a super reason to take this off, considering that it's already paid for itself, right? You won 42 on it, and you won 42 on this one. So in this scenario, for the most part, you're going to play this out, whether you get nailed on this DC bet or not. So let's do that real fast and see what happens. Let's just play out that structure. That's a 3. That doesn't do anything. 617. So there it is. So we're going to lose these two. And then we're going to make the difference between this and this. Watch. 6 and 1.
7 out.
Which is $28. So you see how that worked out, right? In that specific situation. But now I'm going to show you the last thing I want to show you on this combination Darkside betting. Let's get a point. That's a 4-4-8.
Hard 8.
All right, so now I'm going to show you another concept that is incredible. And he talks about this in the book as well, and you can see the way he analyzes this. So what I'm going to do now is I'll do the $100 DC bet again, right? And this time I'll do, what was I doing? I think I did 36. We'll do 36 again. We'll do the same thing, so I'm not going to confuse anybody. And again, you do not have to do the numbers I'm showing you. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get this to move. Okay, 3, 2, 5. That's good because this time we didn't make money right away.
5 fever.
So now the DC is behind the 5. We did not make any money on that roll yet. So our risk level now is if a 5 is rolled. Not if if the 7 is rolled, it's not a problem again. Because this is going to pay more than these two are going to lose. So now let's keep going. Let me see if I can hopefully get what I want to happen so I can show you another element. Okay, did not work out. We're going to lose, so now you're going to see what that's like. We're going to lose this DC bet.
Fever 5.
So that's the negative, right? We just lost 100. So we're just going to replace it and put another DC bet out. Whoops. Off the table. Here we go. Okay, 5, 1, 6. So this time
6 easy.
it's going to move to the 6, and we are going to get paid for the place bet 6, 42. So we lost 100 on the last roll. We made 42 of it back right away. So let's keep going, because the only reason I'm doing this part is to show you one other element. Okay, that is a 426. Not what I wanted to show you, but now what you're going to see is we're going to lose this 100, but we're going to make 42 here. So we're not going to lose this. So here we go. 4, 2, 6.
Easy 6.
We lost 100, but we made 42. And the difference is, for that result, we lost 58. So let's throw another 100 in the DC, because I still haven't shown you the final little piece of the various elements that we can use. Okay, 4, 2, 6. Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Unfortunately, I had an outage, so we're going to have to show this last thing one more time. So let's just go ahead and let's just throw this back out there. I just want to show you one other element. That's all I'm trying to do, to give you a few of the pieces of the pie, and then basically just let you know that we use these various structures and then create things around them that are really incredible. So I'm just putting 36 and 36 out here. I'm going to do another DC bet, and here we go. Okay, wonderful. So that's a 3-3.
6 hard.
We're going to get paid for this place bet 6, $42. And the DC bet moved over here. So now I'll just show it to you here. Okay? So we already made $42 on that one roll. Right? Because it happened to hit the 6 and the 6, and we were already place betting and active on the 6 and the 8. So now if you want to use this as a super tight conservative scenario, what we've been doing is letting these play out, right? Letting these play out. And that means that if a 7 came, we're losing 72 and we're making the difference, right? Because we're going to make 100 here. Well, you can tweak this by having a different element. Now, you can, we had one hit, right? If you want to get a little less conservative, you could wait for 2 hits. Now, of course, by doing that, the 6 and the 8 may not, the 8 may not hit again, right? You know, because if the 6 hits now, you're going to make 42, but you're going to lose 100 here. So if you leave this out here, what you're betting is that the 8 is going to hit, you know, or the 7 is going to hit, and you're going to make the difference between this and these. But there's another way, and here's the other way. You already got your one hit, so you can pull that down, and now you can play this out, right? You can play this out, and only play this out. And what happens now is, if the 6 hits, you're going to lose this $100. But you're going to make 42, right? So what you can do is you can do a plug. And there's a lot more to this than I'm going to explain, but I'm just going to give you the basic understanding of this. We can plug this. Let's just take that down. If we plug this with 100 right now, you understand we can't lose, right? We can't lose. If the 6 is hit, we're going to make money here. We're going to lose the 100, but we're going to make money here. Now, the amount that you plug these with is very different. You have to go to Parlay Nation and look at the calculators to be able to determine what amount a place bet pays to determine that it's either going to fully cover the lay bet on those numbers, or that you want to take a little bit of risk, let's say, or you want to make money either way. Because some of these pay out 2-to-1. The 4 and the 10 pay out 2-to-1. So you can do this. What if you did not want to fully plug this? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's just do it. Let's go to Parlay Nation. We have $100 that we're going to lose if the 6 shows up right now, right? So we need to know if we plug it with $90, what is it, 96? Okay. My math is way off here, guys. It has to be in increments of 6. And that's not it. That's not it. My brain is not working today. 96, 97. None of these are increments that... Okay. So, let's see if we can plug it with... well, we can plug it with anything if we were playing on the bubble craps. All right, my math is just way off today. I apologize. So if we plug this for, let's say, 85, 50, you know what? We can plug this for... I think it's 110. We would lose $10. I think it's 105. So we would lose $5 if the 7 showed up now. We'll just do it for the $100. You know what? Just do it for the 100. Here we go. All right. So now we are in a situation where we can't lose. That's the point. Okay. So we made our $42 here. And we are doing a plug. We took our other money off. We're locking up the 42. We cannot lose now. So watch the way that this works out. 437. Here we go. We're going to lose this bet, but we're going to make the 100 here. So we're going to break even.
7 out.
You see? Look, we didn't lose any money. We didn't make any money. So we locked up the 42. Okay? That's the point that I'm trying to say. So the other element is to play it super tight. Make some money, whether it's 1 hit or 2 hits, and then plug that DC bet. Plug the DC bet. Okay? What you're plugging it with, you have to go to Parlay Nation and do the math with the calculator right here. So let's say that we had $50 on the DC 6 or 8. $36 plug, if it was a $50 6 or 8, only pays $42. So you would not make money if the 6 hit. You would lose $8. Not $8. Yeah, $8 because you have 50 on the DC bet, right? But if the 7 came up, you'd make $8. Now, you make a lot more money on the DC plug scenario on the 4 and 10 because watch this. This is the way it works out. Let's say we have $50 on a 4 and now we want to plug it. If we put 25 on the place 4, let's see, what am I doing? 30. Okay, pays 54. Okay, so now you're hedging the $50 and you'd make 4. But watch this. Watch this. If you put $50 on the hedge 4, look at what you're making if the 4 actually hits. You're losing your 50 on the DC bet and you're making 90 on the 4. So do you understand the way the math works? And that's why you have to get comfortable with the plugging situation. We have a lot of different videos and things about this plugging concept. So for people that are new to it, you may not get it on the first shot. But basically, we're saying we're not going to play it out. We're basically saying if we make 1 hit or 2 hits, whatever it may be, we're going to take our money down and then we're going to plug that number. So there are many ways using Darkside bets and combinations of lights on Darkside bets to make money in craps. They're not the holy grail. There's always a nemesis, but this is the way that we feel is the optimal way to play the game. Not that there's not other strategies that we like, but for me, that's the optimal way of playing. And in that book, The Dead Man's Hedge, he goes into detail on some of these things. We go a little bit further than him because we do a lot more combo betting stuff. But you're going to enjoy this book. So check it out. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter if you haven't, so that you're registered for the free hotel room or the complimentary Hotel Las Vegas situation. And if you really want to take craps to another level, you can purchase the newest course, AI Bubble Craps Blueprint, and you're going to learn a bunch of our best strategies with video tutorials, spreadsheets, and everything that'll teach you how to do this to make a paycheck. Give yourself the best chance to make a paycheck. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.